The sky was clear, and the city was quiet. People were busy with their daily lives, going to work, eating lunch, talking on phones. Everything was normal. But in a few minutes, nothing would be normal again. At exactly 3:07 p.m., the signal came. All screens, TVs, phones, computers, billboards turned black. Then, a strange sound echoed. It was not music. It was not static. It was something else, something cold, something terrifying. A deep voice spoke in a language no one had ever heard before. But somehow, everyone understood it. As if the voice went directly into their minds. You have 7 days to surrender. Your species ends now. People froze. Some thought it was a prank. Some laughed nervously. Others began to panic. Then the sky cracked. A long black shape appeared above the clouds. It was not a plane, not a satellite. It was too big, too dark. It didn't fly, it floated. Silent, heavy, deadly. People ran. Cameras pointed up. News stations tried to explain. But nobody had answers. Worldwide panic in New York. Traffic stopped. People left their cars and stared at the sky. In Tokyo, trains halted. Students cried, holding each other. In Cairo, Paris, Rio, and Delhi, the same thing. Fear, confusion, silence. The message played again, louder this time. We are the Varnuk. Your time is ended. Surrender or be erased. Within minutes, government leaders across the world held emergency meetings. The United Nations called for calm. The President of the United States gave a speech. We do not understand this threat, but we will protect humanity. It was a good speech, brave, strong, but useless, because 12 minutes later, the first city was destroyed. The first attack, a small city in Brazil, São Pedro, simply vanished. It didn't explode, it melted. The buildings, the people, the streets turned into ash in seconds. A blue light fell from the black ship above, and everything was gone. No fire, no sound, just gone. Live cameras captured it. The world watched it happen. Then, 3 more cities disappeared, one in Russia, one in Canada, and one in Kenya. Panic turned into chaos. People rushed into the streets. Some prayed. Some looted. Some screamed. Airports overflowed. Highways became parking lots. The internet collapsed under traffic. But the ships did not stop. By midnight, 27 cities were gone. The scientists in a hidden lab in Switzerland. A group of scientists worked without sleep. They studied the signal, the language, the energy coming from the ships. Dr. Lin, a physicist, looked pale. It's not just weapons, she said. Their technology bends gravity. It's like magic. They're not here to talk, another scientist said. They're here to finish us. The Global Council in an underground military base under the Rocky Mountains. A secret group gathered. World leaders, military generals, scientists, AI analysts. They called it the Global Survival Council. Everyone sat quietly as the screen showed the number of dead. 23 million. In less than 24 hours, a general slammed his fist on the table. We need to fire back. With what? Someone asked. Rockets? Nukes? They erased cities without even touching them. We have to try. But deep inside, they all knew. The truth. Earth was losing. The world reacts. In India, a temple stayed open all night, full of crying people. In Germany, people stood on rooftops with signs that read, "We come in peace." In America, someone painted on a highway, "Dear aliens, go home." But the aliens did not care. They did not reply. They did not ask for peace. They only sent one more message. Day 1 is complete. 6 days remain. The man in the shadows far from the cities, in a cold, quiet forest in northern Iceland, an old man watched the sky. He sat in a wooden cabin, drinking black coffee. A dog lay beside him. The news played on an old radio. Screams, sirens, warnings. He did not panic. He did not cry. He just listened. Then he stood up, opened a box under the floor, and pulled out something strange, a metal device with lights. Very old, but very advanced. He pressed a button. A hidden room opened beneath the cabin. Inside were maps, weapons, old photographs, and a screen showing a blinking red light. The man smiled for the first time in years. So they finally came, he said. They picked the wrong planet. Inside the alien ship above Earth, inside the largest alien ship, the Varnock leaders sat around a round table. They looked like statues, tall, thin, with silver skin and glowing blue eyes. Their armor made no sound. One Varnock named Krevnal spoke. The humans resist. Illogical. Their destruction is certain. Another, older Varnock, disagreed. They fight like animals. No order, no rules, but creative. Kravnal clicked his claws. They are a dying flame. We are the wind. In 6 days, nothing will remain, they all agreed. Except one. A young Varnock, a scout who had studied humans from afar, whispered, "They are not what we thought. They adapt. They endure. They survive." The others laughed. Then they will survive extinction. Voices of the people in a shelter in London. A little girl asked her father, "Are we going to die?" The father hugged her tightly. "Not today." In a hospital in China, a nurse gave her last blood bag to a wounded soldier. "If we fall together." In a broken city in Nigeria, a teacher wrote on a wall, "We are humans. We don't give up." The secret broadcast on day 2 at 2:17 a.m. A secret message went out from Earth, not to the aliens, but to the people. It was short, simple, strong. This is not the end. They came with ships. We have hearts. Fight back. Fight smart. Fight united. People began to listen. They began to rise. Back to the cabin, the old man, now wearing a black uniform, walked into the hidden room under his cabin. He placed his hand on a scanner. A map lit up, showing dots all over the world. Resistance groups, secret bunkers, trained agents. He spoke into a microphone. "This is Commander Rourke. Operation Shadow is live. Tell the ghosts it's time." Final scene, suspense hook. Back in the alien ship, Kravnal stood near a large window, watching Earth. He smiled. "Look at them, so small, so afraid." Suddenly, alarms began to ring. One of the alien captains ran in. "Commander, ship number 6, it's gone." "Gone? What do you mean gone?" It exploded. From the inside. No human weapons detected. It was sabotage. Kravnal turned slowly toward Earth. Impossible. But a WSN single quotes T. Far below, in the shadows of a ruined city, a figure in a black hood disappeared into the smoke. He left behind a mark on a wall, scratched in blood. "Welcome. T.O. Earth." The Varnock believed the war was already won. They had weapons that melted steel, ships that floated without wings, and shields that no human weapon could break. They believed humans were weak, divided, and scared. In their mind, Earth was a small, dirty planet full of noise and chaos, not a real threat. But they didn't understand humans, not yet. The Varnock's confidence on board the flagship orbiting above Earth. Varnock Commander Kravnal paced inside the war room. Holograms of Earth floated in the air. Red dots marked every destroyed city. 17 more cities tomorrow, he said coldly. His second-in-command, Zirek, nodded. Their governments have fallen. Their armies are broken. The species is nearly done. Good, Kravnal replied. They'll beg soon. He walked to a screen showing images from Earth. Protests, crying children, burning buildings. Look at them, weak, emotional, disorganized, Zirek smiled. They don't know how to lose with honor. Kravnal growled. They don't know how to fight either. He was wrong. The first fire back in the ruins of Berlin, a small team of humans crawled through tunnels once used during ancient wars. Now they used them again, but this time to fight aliens. They were not soldiers, not trained, not ready. Just people with nothing left to lose. One of them, Lena, carried a backpack full of explosives. Her husband was gone. Her home was ash, but her eyes were full of fire. "We hit their power core," she whispered, "then run like hell." They reached a dark chamber under the Varnock patrol station. Alien machines buzzed above them. Lena planted the bomb, kissed her necklace, and ran. 10 seconds later, boom, the patrol station collapsed. Sparks flew in the sky like fireworks. Alien broadcast Cravano watched the explosion from above. What was that? A young alien technician trembled. A human attack, very primitive, but effective. Xerix snapped. How did they even reach that place? No answer. Another explosion appeared on the map, then another. Then two more. Human rebels were striking in multiple cities, hitting alien towers, hacking signals, and even destroying small drones. Cravnall hissed. "Find their leaders. End this." The human mined in a secret lab under the Rocky Mountains. Dr. Lin studied alien tech. She wasn't a soldier. She was a physicist. But her brain was her weapon. She looked at the alien shield design and smiled. "They use frequency shielding," she said. "But their systems can't adapt fast." "What does that mean?" asked a young soldier beside her. "It means we can hack it," she typed fast. Her fingers danced across the keyboard. Screens lit up. "Give me 24 hours. I'll turn their shield into a door." The Ghost Team Commander Rourke stood on a rooftop in Tokyo. He was old, quiet, and deadly. He had seen 5 wars, lost 2 families, and now he was humanity's last shadow. Beside him stood 4 men and women dressed in black. No names. No pasts, just skills. They were called the Ghosts. "We take out the Varnock officer in Sector 9, Rourke said. "How?" asked one of them. He smiled. "The same way humans always fight, dirty, fast, and angry." They moved like shadows, no sound, no fear. Within an hour, the Varnock officer's ship exploded in the sky. No trace left behind. Small axe, big meaning in a village in South Africa. A 12-year-old boy named Tumo used an old radio to block an alien drone signal. He had no weapons, just a brain and a screwdriver. The drone fell to the ground, confused. People in the village cheered. The boy became a symbol, a child defeating the sky. The alien viewin', the alien war room, confusion spread. "How are they fighting back?" one Varnock asked. "They have no central command. That's the problem," Cravnall said. "They're chaos. We can't predict them. Then we wipe them out faster." But Earth was not going down. Faster. It was rising, piece by piece. Digital warfare in a bunker under Seoul. A teenage hacker known as Rexbite broke into the alien ship's signal system. He was blind in one eye, but brilliant in code. He sent a virus into their comms. The Varnock ships began hearing strange sounds, baby cries, laughter, music, confused. They shut down systems to stop the noise. In that moment, human jets flew up and shot down a Varnock scout ship, the first alien ship ever destroyed by human hands. World saw it on secret feeds. People cheered. For the first time in days, they had hope. A message from Earth, from a hidden studio deep under an island bunker. A voice spoke across old radio waves. It was the voice of a woman. Calm, strong, steady. "This is Earth Resistance Network. To every survivor out there, you are not alone. The Varnock think we are broken. They are wrong. We are angry. We are ready. And now we fight back." Unexpected attack at 3:33 a.m. 5 human teams attacked 5 alien zones at once, using drones made from car parts, firebombs, hacked computers, and old human satellites. One Varnock commander was caught and taken alive. Human scientists studied his armor. It could resist bullets, but not fire, they learned. They adapted. And then they planned more. The first shield break DR. Lin's plan worked. Using radio signals from old satellites and city towers, they broke through an alien shield for 13 seconds. Just enough. Human missiles shot through the gap and hit a Varnak supply ship, destroying thousands of alien weapons. It was another small victory, but to Earth, it felt like a turning point. Varnak Krivenal stared at the latest report. 17 alien bases damaged, 3 destroyed, 1 ship lost, another missing. He clenched his jaw. How? Zirek replied slowly. They do not fight to win. They fight because they refuse to lose. Then we teach them fear. But deep inside, Kravnal felt something strange. A feeling he didn't. No. Worry. Human spirit in the mountains of Peru. People built towers to watch the skies. In Canada. Hunters used ice tunnels to move between alien zones. In Syria. Old enemies joined hands to protect children from drones. In Brazil. Students turned a school bus into a mobile war lab. The world was on fire. But the fire didn't mean death. It meant resistance. Back to the cabin, Commander Rourke received a secret message on his old device. He smiled. The boy in Africa brought down a drone. The kid in Korea hacked their ship. The Berlin team wiped out a patrol. He lit a cigar. They thought we were weak, he whispered. But we are Earth, and we've only just started. Final scene, suspense hooking space. A small human probe floated toward the Varnak flagship. It was tiny. Looked like junk, but a WSN single quotes to inside was a short video message written in bold letters. To the Varnak, we are not the ones who should be afraid. It exploded, releasing an EMP pulse that knocked out half the ship's systems. Kravnal roared. Enough games. Begin full planetary cleansing. But before he could finish, another alarm rang. This time, one of their own ships was missing. Not destroyed. Stolen. The war was not only in the sky now. It was in the streets, under the ground, inside computers, and deep within the shadows. Humans were learning fast, adapting, fighting in ways the Varnak could not see and could not stop. This was no longer a war of fire. This was the unseen war. Varnak in confusion on the Varnak flagship. The mood had changed. Commander Kravnal stood still, eyes glowing blue with anger. Behind him, the lights on the ship blinked wildly. Warnings, errors, signals out of sync. Explain, he said coldly. A young alien technician looked nervous. One of our ships, it's missing. Missing? Not destroyed. Not tracked. Just gone. Zarek, the second in command, checked the logs. They stole it. Kravnal growled. Humans do not have the intelligence to fly a Varnak ship, and yet they did. Kravnal turned to the window, staring at Earth. Then we changed the war. No more warnings. No more waiting. He raised his hand and gave a command. Begin the cleansing. Human strategy deep under London, in a secret bunker. Human leaders met once again. Commander Rourke, Dr. Lin, military officers, hackers, engineers, and former soldiers sat around a glowing table. A screen showed a map of Earth, full of red zones. Dr. Lin tapped the screen. They've started Phase 2, mass destruction. No more selecting cities, Rourke nodded. They think fear will break us. But it's not, said a young hacker from India named Zara. People are fighting harder. Rourke lit his cigar and leaned forward. We've seen their weapons, their ships, their tech. He looked around the table. Now let's show them something they've never seen before. Human unpredictability. Silent attacks in the ruins of Chicago. 3 resistance fighters moved through smoke and ash. Their names, Dante Mira and Kip. They carried no guns. Only MP bombs, signal jammers, and a small device made by Dr. Lin's team. The goal: sneak into a Varnak supply station, hack the core, and get out. Dante whispered. 3 guards at the gate. "Kip, send the signal." Kip clicked a button. A high-pitched sound rang out. Only the aliens could hear it. The guards dropped, screaming, grabbing their ears. The team moved fast. Mira hacked the door. Dante placed the device, and within 3 minutes, the station exploded from the inside. The humans vanished into the smoke. The code breaker in Moscow, an old spy named Petrov, returned to work after 30 years of hiding. He used to crack enemy codes during the Cold War. Now, he cracked alien code. He sat in a room with wires all around, sipping black tea. He whispered to his assistant. They repeat their encryption every 66 seconds. That's their weakness. Can we break in? Petrov smiled. I already have. He typed a string of symbols into his old computer. The Varnak's private fleet messages appeared in plain English. For the first time, humans could see what the aliens were planning. Before it happened, the boy who fooled the sky in Argentina. A 10-year-old boy named Lucas built a flying toy using broken drone parts and a mirror. He attached a small speaker playing human music. The toy flew near a Varnak drone, confused it, and made it crash into a tree. Locals cheered. That toy design was copied in 40 countries within hours. A new weapon DR. Lynn and her team, with the help of global engineers, completed a risky new project, Project Echo Strike. Using old satellites, underground labs, and hacked alien tech, they built a signal that could bounce off the moon, enter alien ship systems, and confuse their sensors. The first test hit a Varnak patrol ship near India. It turned in circles for 5 minutes, then crashed into the ocean. Dr. Lin smiled for the first time in days. It's working. Varnak division inside the alien flagship. Arguments broke out. Some Varnak leaders wanted to leave Earth and return later. Others demanded total destruction. One Varnak, named Selner, a science officer, warned, "They are learning. Their attacks are smart, not random. We are not fighting animals. We are fighting survivors." But Kravnel slammed the table. "They are disorganized, chaotic, full of emotion." Selner replied softly, "Maybe that's what makes them strong." Kravnel glared. "Enough talk. Begin ground deployment. Let's hunt them ourselves." The stolen ship far from the main war zones, in the deserts of Australia. Something unbelievable happened. The stolen Varnak ship landed quietly behind the hills. A group of resistance fighters stepped out, dirty, tired, but alive. Their leader, a woman named Captain Riva, removed her helmet and smiled. "Ship flies like a dream," she said. Inside the ship were hundreds of pieces of alien technology, untouched, unmapped, UNSHIELD. This was the breakthrough Earth needed. "We have their tech now," Riva told Rourke through a secured line. "Time to reverse engineer the future." Losses still hurting in Paris. A family hid under rubble for 3 days. In Manila, a school-turned-hospital was hit. In Cairo, alien drones attacked water lines. Even with hope rising, Earth was still bleeding, but every loss only added fuel to the fire. Human art of war. From old war books, ancient tactics were reborn. In Greece, rebels used mirrors to blind drones. In the Philippines, fishermen turned nets into EMP traps. In Turkey, tunnels led Varnak troops into ambushes. The Varnak had power, but humans had history and memory. The broadcast that changed everything at midnight. A new message appeared across hijacked alien screens. It showed faces of humans from all over the world. Men, women, children, old and young. Their message was simple. You came with fire. We responded with courage. You took our cities. We gave you hell. You thought we were weak, but we are human. And we do not kneel. Millions saw it. Even some Varnak soldiers did. The Varnak descent Krav. Nail's ship landed in a forest in northern Canada. He and 40 elite Varnak soldiers stepped onto the Earth. They came to crush the human resistance, but the forest was quiet. Too quiet. Suddenly, fire rose from the ground. Traps, bombs, nets, confusion. From the trees, humans attacked, not with guns, but fire, sound weapons, smoke, and old-fashioned tricks. When it was over, 30 Varnock soldiers were gone. Only 11 limped back to the ship. And Cravnell. He had a scar across his face, the first injury ever caused by a human weapon named Ghost, back in Tokyo. Rourke met with a man known only as Ghost. No one knew his real name. He had hacked alien systems, stolen codes, and erased himself from every network. They fear data, he said. So let's give them data they can't trust. He created a virus called Smoke Signal, which fed the aliens 1,000 fake resistance locations within hours. The Varnock wasted 18 bombing raids on empty fields, oceans, and even a zoo. Cravnell was furious. Final scene, suspense hooking a ruined city. A little girl named Aina stood beside a robot, built from alien scrap and a washing machine. Robot pointed to the sky. Aina looked up and smiled. Far above, the clouds shifted, not from weather, but from energy. A giant ripple in the sky appeared. Something was coming through. Not alien. Not human. Something else. A voice came from the stolen Varnock ship. Commander Rourke, we're detecting another force entering orbit. Unknown origin, massive power. Rourke stared at the screen. Not now, he whispered, but it was too late. Earth's war was about to change again. The Varnock came to conquer Earth. Humans surprised them with courage, chaos, and cleverness. But just as humans started fighting back, something else appeared in the sky. And this time, no one knew what it was. The sky that changed in the early hours of dawn across different parts of the world. Africa, Russia, Australia, Mexico. People looked up and saw the same strange thing. The clouds above twisted unnaturally. The sky shimmered with colors that didn't belong. Silver and green flashes danced like fire inside a storm. A sound followed, low, deep, not thunder, not wind. It felt like the earth itself was humming. In Alaska, a resistance scout named Sasha stared at the sky and whispered, "That's not them. That's not Varnock tech." The Varnock panic inside the Varnock flagship. Commander Cravnell stood frozen. Alien symbols flashed red across the control panels. The ship shook slightly. A young Varnock scientist said, "Something is entering our space, but it is not from this system." "Is it human?" Zirek asked. "No," the scientist replied. "It is older, much older." The hologram screen showed a giant shape, darker than the void of space, moving silently. Its size was massive, 10 times larger than the Varnock flagship. Cravnell's voice was quiet. "This is impossible." Human confusion and fear across Earth. People felt it. Not just saw or heard, felt. Radios turned to static. Birds flew in strange patterns. Oceans rippled without wind. Even babies cried in sync, without reason. In a bunker under Seoul, Dr. Lin looked at the sky scans and frowned. "It's not Varnock. It's not human. But it responded to our satellite ping." Commander Rourke asked, "What does that mean?" "It knows we're here," she said. "And now it's listening." Hacked message in a hidden base in Norway. A hacker known as Rexbyte intercepted a strange signal from space. It wasn't alien language or human code. It was patterns, numbers, waves, repeated symbols. He stared at the screen. "This isn't just a signal," he said. "It's a message." With help from Dr. Lin's team, they began decoding it. 3 hours later, the translation came. Just one sentence. "You are not alone." The frozen time in a small city in Canada. Time stopped. Not for long. Just 17 seconds. But during those 17 seconds, nothing moved. Birds paused in mid-air. Cars froze mid-turn. Even fire stayed still. When time started again, no one could explain it. Except for one thing, a new symbol appeared, burned into the snow. A circle with 3 lines running through it. What is it? Back in the London Resistance HQ, Rourke stood beside Dr. Lin. Is it an enemy? He asked. We don't know, she replied. Friend? We don't know that either. She tapped a map where the sky distortions were strongest. But it's watching us, watching both sides, us and the Varnock. Rourke clenched his jaw. We're in the middle now. Varnock in fear Crevenel ordered all Varnock ships into high alert. Target the object. Prepare to fire. Selner, the science officer, protested. Commander, we don't understand it. If it's older than us, stronger than us, then we must strike first. Cravenel shouted, but before they could fire, their weapons disabled themselves. No warning. No spark, no damage, the power simply vanished. A cold whisper filled the ship's speakers in their own language. Do not interfere. Cravenel froze. Even he felt fear now. The machine in the desert in the Sahara. A group of rebels found something buried in the sand. It wasn't from the Varnok. It was a smooth silver sphere, humming softly. When one of them touched it, a hologram appeared, showing stars, galaxies, black holes. The last image, Earth. Then it showed three paths: a red line, fire and ruin; a green line, survival; a gray line, extinction. No one knew what to choose. The machine shut itself down. The child who understood in Brazil, a 9-year-old autistic boy named Mateo, looked at the alien symbols on TV. He calmly picked up a pen and started writing. 10 minutes later, he handed his sister a note. It read, "The message is not sound. It's math. They are waiting for a response." He was right. Dr. Lin's team received his notes. They tested them, and for the first time, the object replied. Human response using satellite pulses, light codes, and math patterns. Humans. Sent a message back. We want peace. We are under attack. 3 minutes later, the sky pulsed, as if nodding. Then, across the Earth, a strange thing happened. Alien drones shut down. Varnock patrol ships lost direction. Human weapons got a strange boost in power. Something, or someone, was helping humanity. But why? Ancient records in a hidden Vatican archive. A priest named Father Elijah found a scroll written 2,000 years ago. It spoke of beings from the stars, not angels, not demons, but watchers. They only come when balance is broken, it said. They do not save, they observe, they test, they decide. The silent protection in China, a major Varnock beam weapon was fired toward a human city. But before the blast could land, it disappeared mid-air. Not exploded, not blocked, just erased. Even Cravenel watched it on his screen and whispered, "What force can delete energy?" No answer came, but he knew this. He was no longer the most powerful being near Earth. A warning. Another message appeared. On hacked alien screens and human satellites. You have entered a watched world. Your war is under review. Choose your end. Dr. Lin stared at the message and said quietly, "They're not here to fight. They're here to judge." The Varnock's big Mysticacrevo, furious, ordered a mass attack. If we destroy the humans fast, the Watchers will leave. He sent 10 ships toward a human bunker in Asia. As the ships crossed the sky, a beam of white light sliced through the clouds. It didn't hit the ships. It froze them in mid-air. No fire. No sound, just complete stop. Then they dropped. Crashed. To the ground like toys. Inside, no pilots were alive, just silence. Rourke's realization. Rourke, watching it all from the command room, whispered, "This isn't our war anymore." Dr. Lin replied, "Maybe it never was." But they knew one thing now. They had a chance. Not because they were stronger, but because something else believed they might be worth saving. Human uprising continues, inspired by the mysterious protector. Humans launched more attacks on weakened Varnock forces. In Nigeria, villagers captured a drone using only net traps and fire. In Japan, Students hacked a supply station and reprogrammed its food drops to feed human survivors. In the US, an entire alien tower collapsed after a signal trick was used, designed by teenagers. Cravenell's forces were bleeding. Their pride was shattered. And above them, that strange shape still watched. Final scene. Suspense hook on board the stolen Varnock ship. Captain Riva opened a secret file. Inside was an old log entry. Not from the Varnock, but from another species. It read, "Do not provoke the Watchers. They only appear before a reset. If you see the light, it may already be too late." Riva looked out the window at the giant shadow above Earth. It wasn't attacking. It wasn't moving. It was just watching. And then, for the first time, it spoke directly to humanity. The message was short. Test 1 begins now. The Watchers were silent, vast, and unknown. But their message was clear. Test 1 begins now. On Earth, everything changed. Global alert from New York to New Delhi. Alarms blared. Governments, resistance leaders, and civilians looked to the skies in fear and hope. Commander Rourke stood in a war room, surrounded by maps and screens. He turned to Dr. Lin. "The Watchers want to test us." "But what kind of test?" "We don't know yet," she replied. "But it won't be easy." The first challenge in orbit. Satellites suddenly lost contact. A strange force blocked communications. Then, one by one, satellites disappeared, swallowed by a dark light. On Earth, this caused chaos. Without satellites, GPS stopped. Weather forecasts failed, and communication dropped. Cities in panic. But in the middle of the chaos, Rourke's team worked harder. "We have to adapt. We don't give up," he said. The mystery of the light. Scientists worldwide studied the Watcher's shadow. Dr. Lin explained. "It's not just a ship or a cloud. It's a field of energy, like a giant shield." "A shield for what?" asked Rourke. "Maybe to protect or to trap." Human effort in labs everywhere. People worked around the clock. New weapons, new communication methods, new energy sources. Zara, the hacker from India, created a new system, a network using old radio waves and underground cables. "It can't be blocked by satellites," she said. "We call it the Shadow Net." Alien response. The Varnock forces, confused and scared, tried to fight the Watchers. But every attack failed. Their weapons were disabled. Their ships stopped. Cravenell's anger grew. "We fight on two fronts now, humans and the Watchers." The human cost. The war continued with new dangers. In South Africa, a city was destroyed by unexplained energy waves. In Russia, a forest caught fire from a strange heat. Yet people survived. They learned to hide, to move, and to trust each other. A signal of hope in a small village in Peru. A light appeared in the night sky. It was bright and calm. People felt peace. Rourke saw it on the screen. "The Watchers. There. Sending us a sign." The resistance grows inspired by the Watchers' signs. Humans fought harder. New resistance groups formed. In the US, a young woman named Maya led a group that captured a Varnock drone. "We're not just fighting for survival," she said. "We're fighting for our future." A strange peace for days. The Watchers did not attack. No bombs. No strikes. Just observation. Rourke used the time to build alliances. "We prepare. We wait. We fight smart." The test begins suddenly. Everywhere on Earth, electronic devices stopped. Phones, cars, power grids, all silent. People looked at the sky as a voice echoed through their minds. It was calm, but firm. "Humans, prove your worth." The mind challenged. People around the world experienced strange visions, memories, images, emotions, mixed and confusing. Some saw their past mistakes. Others saw possible futures. Rourke realized the test was not just physical. It was mental. The fire trial in Australia. A huge fire started. It was unnatural. The resistance fought hard. Using water, dirt, and teamwork, they put it out. But the fire taught a lesson. Survival is not just strength, Rourke said. It's wisdom. Unity leaders worldwide came together. Old enemies made peace. New friends formed. Because the Watchers demanded more than just battle. They wanted unity. Varnok's last Stankravenal gathered his troops. If we lose this war, our empire ends. But he saw humans were changing. Stronger, smarter. More united. He wondered if the Watchers' test was already deciding the children's role in schools around the world. Children played games about peace and survival. One boy, Lucas, the same who fooled the drone before, now led a group of young inventors. They created tools to help people communicate without machines. The future is theirs, Dr. Lin said. The Watchers speak again. A new message appeared. You have passed the first test, but greater challenges await. Prepare. Rourke looked at the sky and said, we are ready. Final scene, suspense hook. As the Watcher's shadow loomed larger, a new ship appeared near Earth. It was different from the Varnok. Its design was sleek, almost beautiful. A voice came from it. I am an envoy. I bring a message and a choice. Rourke stared at the screen. The war is far from over, but now new players joined the fight. The first test was over. Earth had survived, barely. But peace didn't last long. Because now a new ship arrived. It wasn't Varnok. It wasn't human. It wasn't from the Watchers. It was something else. The arrival of the envoy. The ship moved without sound. Not fast. Not slow. It didn't glow like Varnok tech. Instead, it shimmered, as if made of starlight and smoke. In space, it hovered near the Watcher's shadow. It did not attack. It did not fear. Then, a message reached Earth. I am the envoy. I bring a choice. Everyone hears it. The voice of the envoy reached everyone. Not through radios. Not through screens, but directly into their minds. Calm, gentle, cold. In every language. At the same time, even a deaf child in Turkey heard it, in her dreams. This is not your first war, but it may be your last. Human leaders react. Commander Rourke stood in the bunker, staring at the map. Dr. Lin leaned over the screen. What is it? Another alien species? It doesn't match any known tech, she said. Not Varnok, not Watchers. So what the hell is it? She didn't answer, but the fear in her eyes said enough. Varnok panic again on the Varnok flagship. Commander Kravnell watched the new ship. Even his pride trembled. It's not part of the Watchers, his science officer said. And it speaks to the humans, not to us. Then it is against us, Kravnell growled. But deep down, he knew something worse. The galaxy was bigger than he believed. The message explained. That night, the envoy spoke again. Your species stands at a gate. Behind it, war, death, and extinction. In front of it, survival, but not all of you. You must decide who leads your kind. The message shook the world. What did it mean? A vote? A sacrifice? A test? Or something worse? Dr. Lin's theory in the London Resistance Lab. Dr. Lin studied ancient star maps and new data from satellites. I think the envoy is not a soldier, she told Rourke. It's a judge. Then who are we being judged against? He asked. Her answer was soft. Ourselves. The children feel it first across Earth. Children began drawing the envoy's ship. They had never seen it, but they felt it in dreams, in thoughts, in whispers. One child in Egypt drew a circle of stars around Earth with the words, choose or be chosen. The DNA pulse, a strange energy wave, hit the planet. No damage. No pain, but people felt it, like something scanning them. Hospitals reported strange spikes in heartbeats. Brain activity. Dr. Lin confirmed. It scanned our biology. It's reading us. A choice appears in every major city. Something strange appeared. A floating platform. Smooth, dark, and quiet. On each, the same message glowed. One must step forward. One voice. One answer. No one knew what would happen if no one stepped forward. But the countdown began. 48 hours, chaos and clarity in New York. Riots broke out. In Berlin, people prayed. In Nairobi, musicians played songs of unity. Rourke met with the world's remaining leaders. This isn't about power. This is about trust, he said. Then who speaks for Earth? One asked. Silence followed. The unexpected speaker in a quiet mountain village in Nepal. A young blind woman named Asha stepped onto the floating platform. She didn't speak loudly. She didn't ask for power. She simply said, "We don't need a leader. We need a voice for peace." The platform glowed and vanished. Everyone saw it, even without cameras. And the envoy spoke again. Choice accepted. The test of the voice. Asha woke in a chamber of light. She was alone. Figure appeared, tall, silver, no face. It wasn't a watcher. It wasn't Varnak. "You are not here to rule," it said. "You are here to answer." "Answer what?" Asha asked. "Do your people deserve to continue?" Asha's answer. She spoke slowly. "We are flawed. We fight. We hurt. But we also create. We protect. We hope. That is why we deserve a chance." The figure nodded. "Then prove it." A portal opened. Inside, chaos. A group of human prisoners. A Varnak bomb. A countdown. Asha had 2 minutes. Mind and heart. She couldn't fight. She couldn't disarm bombs. But she used her mind. She called to the prisoners. "You must work together. Trust each other, even if you are enemies." They listened. One was an ex-soldier. One was a scientist. One was a thief. Together, they stopped the countdown, with seconds left. Asha cried, "This is what we are. Not perfect, but not hopeless." The envoy's judgment. The envoy's ship pulsed with bright light. A message covered the sky. Voice has spoken. Trial 1 complete. The floating platforms vanished. Peace returned, for a moment. Kravnil's final plan. Angry at being ignored, the Varnak commander made his move. He ordered all remaining ships to launch. Destroy them all before another test begins. It was suicide. But he didn't care. He wanted glory or death. The final battle begins. Humanity prepared. Resistance forces everywhere got ready. Underground cities armed. Hackers activated. Shadownet. Everyone waited. This might be it, Rourke said. Win or die. Final scene. Suspense hook. The Watcher's shadow moved again. But this time, not to help. It sent a single message. Final test begins in 3 days. Then all stars around Earth blinked. Off. Complete darkness above. No moon. No stars. Just silence. And the clock ticking. For 3 days, Earth stood in darkness. The stars were gone. The moon disappeared. The night sky was black, silent, and heavy. People stared upward, but saw nothing. No light. No sound. No sign of life. Just one echo from the sky. Final test begins now. The countdown begins. A number appeared in every city. It floated in the air, glowing white. 72 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. Hours, minutes, seconds. But no one knew what the countdown meant. Would it bring death? War? Salvation? Commander Rourke stood in the central command bunker and stared at the number. We need answers before it hits 0. Worldwide silence. All communication systems failed again. No internet. No phone. No satellite. Only the ShadowNet. The underground system created by hacker Zara still worked. Zara typed furiously. ShadowNet is holding, but something's inside it, watching us. Watching? Asked Dr. Lin. Yes, not human. Not Varnak, something else. Kravnil's invasion. Ignoring the countdown. Commander Kravnil of the Varnak sent his last wave of ships to Earth. Over 300. Warcraft launched. They burned through the clouds like fire. But this time, Earth was ready. Earth strikes back. The resistance had grown stronger. New weapons, built from both human and stolen Varnak tech, now lined the skies. Anti-air batteries fired. Drone swarms flew. Hacked Varnock walkers roamed the fields. The battle began over the Atlantic. Sky turned red. Rourke commanded from a bunker in Iceland. No retreat. No surrender. Heroes rise in Japan. General Aiko led her battalion. Against a group of Varnock ground troopers, using nothing but old tanks and grit. In Brazil, Maya and her resistance fighters used forests and rivers to trap enemy crafts. In India, Zara hacked a Varnock mothership midair and crashed it into the sea. Everywhere, humans fought like never before, not for power but for survival. Inside the countdown at the 48-hour mark, strange things began. People had visions again, dreams of possible futures. Some saw Earth burning. Others saw peace. But all visions came with a whisper. This is the path. Unless you change it. Asha's second trial. The envoy returned to Asha in a beam of white light. You passed the first test with your words. Now, show us your world. She was teleported, not alone this time, but with a group of humans from different places. A soldier, a mother, a farmer, a thief, a scientist, a child. What are we supposed to do? One asked. The envoy replied, choose which future you want. A door opened. Behind it, a war-torn wasteland. Another door opened. A peaceful green world. You may enter only one, said the envoy. They had to decide, together. Pressure grows back on Earth. The Varnock forces were collapsing. Kravnal watched his empire crumble. How? How are they winning? His advisor replied, they fight with something we don't understand, hope. But Kravnal didn't care. He activated his last weapon, a planet burner missile hidden in space. If I can't win, no one survives. The last missile DR. Lin spotted the signal. It's moving from the dark side of the moon. It's not a test, it's real. If it hits Earth, we're finished. Zara tried hacking. Failed. Rourke launched all remaining interceptors. Too slow. Only one hope remained. A stolen Varnock fighter. Hidden by Maya's team in South America. A human pilot volunteered. Derek, a former space engineer turned fighter. I'm not coming back, he said. Just make sure it matters. The last flight. Derek launched the stolen ship. It moved. Fast, too fast for Earth tech. He chased the missile through space, dodging debris, using hacked commands to gain speed. At the last second, he spoke. To the ones watching. This is who we are. And then, silence. He rammed the missile. A bright flash lit the darkness, and slowly, the stars came back. The final choice back in the envoy's chamber. Asha and the others were still standing between two doors. Each person argued. The soldier wanted peace. The thief didn't trust it. But the child said, we already made the choice. We fight to protect, not to destroy. They agreed. And all stepped toward the peaceful world. The verdict. The envoy appeared before them. The final test is over. You have chosen unity, sacrifice, and hope. You may not be perfect, but you are not lost. You may continue. Peace or something more. The Watcher's shadow in the sky lifted. The countdown disappeared. The stars glowed brighter than ever. On every screen, every sky, the final message appeared. You have passed. The galaxy watches and welcomes you. And just like that, the darkness ended. What of the Varnock? Kravnal was gone. His fleet destroyed. But a few Varnock survivors, lost and confused, were spared by human forces. One soldier offered them food. The Varnock commander dropped his weapon and asked, why? The soldier replied, because this is who we are now. The next chapter. A year later, a spaceship, Earth's first true starship, stood ready to launch. It was built from both human and alien tech. The name on its side, Unity 1. Rourke, now older, stood beside Asha and Dr. Lin. We defended Earth, he said. Now, we explore the stars. Final scene. epic hook as Unity 1 entered space. It passed a glowing moon. Suddenly, a small symbol appeared in the sky. Not Watcher, not Varnak, not Envoy, a new signal, a new voice. You passed your test, but others did not. Will you help them or conquer them? Rourke stared out the window. Let's find out. Earth was no longer just a blue planet. It was something more now. A survivor. A voice. A beacon. Humanity had passed the test, but the real journey was just beginning. 1 year later, the ship Unity 1 floated above Earth. It was the largest ship humans had ever built, not just metal and wires. It had Varnak shielding, human creativity, and Watcher-based tech. Inside were scientists, soldiers, farmers, even artists. They weren't going to war, they were going to explore. The mission. Rourke stood at the command deck beside Asha, now an ambassador for Earth. Dr. Lin monitored the navigation systems. Where are we heading? Asked Asha. Dr. Lin pointed to a star system on the map. Sector 9. The signal came from there. Rourke narrowed his eyes. The voice that spoke after the test. It said others failed. Maybe someone still needs help. Or maybe it's a trap, said Zara from the AI core. Either way, we're not hiding. Unknown territory. Unity 1 moved past Pluto and entered warp space. The stars stretched like rivers of light. The crew was silent, focused. Everyone knew they might never return, but none of them feared. They were humans. And now, more than ever, they believed in themselves. The dead planet. They arrived at a planet called Cyril 3. What they saw chilled them. A once beautiful world, now dead, burnt, cracked. Black skies. No cities, no movement, no sound, but there were ships. Wrecked and floating in orbit. Some had alien designs no one recognized. A faint signal. Zara picked up a weak signal. One repeating word. Help. 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 It was centuries old. Someone once cried for help here. But no one had come. Until now. Exploration team lands. Asha, Rourke, and a small team landed on the planet's surface in a scout ship. The air was thin but breathable. Everywhere, silence, dust, shadows. But then, movement. The last survivor. A door opened in a cracked dome. Out came a small, fragile alien. Skin pale blue, eyes large and tired. It collapsed at Asha's feet. She caught it and heard a whisper in her mind. You passed, you came. We didn't. A message from the past. The alien, named Kale, was the last of its kind. The Ta'ari. He showed them what happened. His people were tested like humans. But they chose war. They chose division. They destroyed themselves, hoping to win. We had tech, power, everything. But we lacked the heart you have. Earth helps rebuild. Unity 1 stayed. The crew helped Kale repair energy systems, plant life, and water supply. They sent a message back to Earth. We found the lost ones. We are not alone in loss. We are not alone in hope. The Watchers returned suddenly. A light appeared in orbit. A Watcher ship, vast, silent. But this time, it didn't hide in the shadows. It opened a channel. You have helped what we could not. You have earned more than survival. You have earned a seat at the table. The Galactic Council. Rourke, Asha, and Lin were transported aboard a station. Inside were beings from dozens of worlds, some large, some small, some light, some stone-like, but all intelligent. This is the Galactic Council, the Watcher said, the real galaxy. And now, humanity has earned its voice. Asha speaks for Earth. Asha stepped forward. Everyone waited. She didn't speak with power. She spoke with truth. We are not the strongest, not the smartest, not the oldest, but we are brave. We learn, we change, and we do not leave the broken behind. We will help rebuild what was lost and protect what can still be saved. A new role for humanity. The Council voted. Unanimous. Earth would not be watched anymore. It would help watch. Help guide other species tested by the galaxy. Unity grows back on Earth. Everything changed. Old enemies became friends. Open. Resources were shared. Science exploded. New ships launched. And above all, a message was written on the new galactic gate being built over Earth. From ashes we rose. From darkness we led. From Earth we became more. Final scene. A bold future as Unity 1 and Kale's people departed for another system to help a dying sun. Asha stared out into space and smiled. Rourke stood beside her. "What now?" he asked. She said, "Now we find others like us. And make sure they don't fall." Suddenly, a new signal lit up the screen. Unknown origin. Coordinates. A warning. The test never ends. Rourke looked at the stars. "Then neither do we." Fade to black. The end.